Here's a rewritten version of your script, broken into 6 clips with approximately 400 words each, arranged in proper paragraphs for smoother readability and coherence. Each clip delivers its point clearly while maintaining a professional tone suitable for a video script.
It's left-wing policies hurt shareholders. In new SEC filing, Disney is now admitting that it's been slapped by its own customers.
Rumors suggest that Disney CEO Bob Iger is struggling to find a solution for the backlash surrounding the live-action remake of Snow White. The trailer for the movie has earned the dubious honor of being one of the most disliked in cinematic history. Reports indicate that the production team is reworking parts of the film, cutting scenes they believe fans won't appreciate. However, these efforts may not be enough to salvage the project. Iger himself is reportedly frustrated and skeptical about the direction the production team is taking. This turmoil comes at a particularly challenging time for Disney, with the company grappling with a series of setbacks over the past 2 years. Disney's decision to adapt classic stories into live-action films has been a point of contention. Their approach often reinterprets beloved tales through the lens of diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI), leading to mixed reactions. Critics argue that Disney's efforts feel more like an attack on traditional narratives rather than an embrace of inclusivity. The result has been an unending streak of flops, with the studio seemingly perfecting.
In March of 2022, $154 billion, a decline of, Vinny, you ready? They lost $196 billion in 1 year.
What?
$196 billion, a 56% drop-off.
As if Disney's troubles weren't already dire, the Snow White 2025 project appears to be in a doubling down, attempting to salvage what little remains of this sinking ship, from public backlash and ongoing boycotts to behind-the-scenes drama involving lead actors Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot. This movie seems destined for chaos. The heart of the issue isn't just Snow White. It's Disney's overarching approach to inclusivity. While the pursuit of diversity is admirable, critics argue that Disney's methods feel performative and heavy-handed, alienating longtime fans in the process. Inclusivity should bring people together, but Disney's approach often paints those who disagree as villains, creating division rather than unity. Even Bob Iger is reportedly losing patience. Rumor has it that the CEO is panicking behind the scenes, scrambling to manage the fallout. His earlier attempts at damage control, including dismissing criticisms as noise, have backfired spectacularly. Despite his insistence that the Boycott and Backlash represent topical minority, the numbers tell a different story, with moving left and right. It's hard to ignore the growing discontent among Disney's audience.
Is any of it Bob Iger's fault? Of course it is. Right, but Bob Iger wasn't uninvolved in setting the stage for what was going to come after him. You know, you're not Bob Iger and then shocked and dismayed to figure out who they replace you.
One glaring issue with Snow White is the decision to use CG dwarfs instead of real actors. Their result is a visual embarrassment that feels cheap and lifeless, especially for a company with Disney's resources. Fans immediately noticed this lack of effort, and their disappointment has been palpable. This move alienates the audience that has cherished the history. This situation is a significant blow to Bob Iger, who is reportedly preparing to retire in 2026. However, at this rate, his legacy might be remembered as the CEO who drove Disney into the ground. Even Disney's board of directors is said to be losing patience. Some members have pushed for Snow White to bypass theaters entirely and release directly on Disney+, a move that could minimize losses but would also signal defeat. Unfortunately, Iger's ego seems to be standing in the way of such decisions. Determined to prove critics wrong, he continues to push forward, even if it means dragging the company through the mud. The irony is hard to miss. This mess is unfolding under the watch of a leader who wants to find Disney's golden age.
I have to tell you, I don't know anything really about the law, but if I were a shareholder, I would want a class action suit against Bob Iger, because Bob is the reason it's...
Disney's issues extend far beyond Snow White. Fans increasingly feel that the company has lost touch with what made it special. Instead of focusing on timeless storytelling and beloved characters, Disney seems fixated on promoting agendas that many argue feel forced and disingenuous. The audience sees through this approach, leading to a growing disconnect between the studio and its fans. The solution seems straightforward. Disney needs to acknowledge its mistakes, listen to its audience, and refocus on quality content. However, this doesn't align with the company's current trajectory. By doubling down on its agenda while dismissing criticisms, Disney risks alienating its core audience even further. Investors have also voiced concerns, accusing the company of prioritizing politics over profitability. The disconnect between Disney's leadership and its audience is undeniable. The longer the company ignores the feedback, the more damage it inflicts on its brand. At this rate, 2025 could turn out to be just as disastrous as 2023 and 2024, with little hope for meaningful change on the horizon.
Audience telling we're going to tell our story. No, you are here to tell the story that our audiences want to hear.
Adding fuel to the fire, Disney recently came under scrutiny in a 50-page letter from Reed Rubenstein, a former Department of Justice official. Rubenstein, now a senior VP at America First Legal, accused Disney of pushing anti-police and anti-white content. He highlighted how the company's virtue signaling has backfired spectacularly. For instance, Disney's market value has plummeted by nearly 40% since February 2021, dropping from $341 billion to $207 billion. Shows accused of promoting a woke agenda have alienated viewers, with critics arguing that Disney is more focused on indoctrination than education. Even beloved franchises like The Muppet Babies and Marvel haven't been spared from controversy, further tarnishing Disney's reputation. Rubenstein's letter points out that Disney's approach not only alienates viewers, but also fuels division. The company's insistence on pushing polarizing content has turned off many of its longtime fans, leading to declining viewership and financial loss. According to America First Legal, Disney must abandon its progressive agenda and return to its roots. Gene Hamilton, AFL's executive director, argues that the company has strayed too far from its original magic. Instead of producing timeless stories with universal appeal, Disney no createscent that feels more like a lecture than entertainment. The path forward is clear. Disney needs to prioritize storytelling, listen to its audience, and rebuild trust. However, given the company's current trajectory, this seems unlikely. Instead, Disney appears set on continuing down its current path, blaming audiences for its failures while doubling down on its agenda. This stubbornness has not gone unnoticed. Critics and investors alike are calling for change, warning that Disney's current course is unsustainable. If the company doesn't pivot soon, it risks further alienation and financial decline. Share your thoughts on Disney's challenge.